Hey guys, we've had all kinds of times on this channel, good times, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, but I think all good things must come to an end. I will always cherish and remember the times we've had together, but I think it's time for me to spread my wings and fly away like a beautiful seagull, and I can't do that tied down to you, to this channel, so this'll have to be the last time I ever speak to you, and don't contact me again, ever. That was pretty easy to do, right? Like, none of it was true, like, not a single word, I didn't mean any of it, but imagine how easy it would be if I did mean everything I just said. Well, the person whose project we're about to look at today would disagree and say that what I just did was the most difficult thing in the world, even over text, and that's why you need to use ChatGPT for it. Meet exits, and of course it's written as an X-it because hate. The kind way to end it. End relationships without ghosting. Exit provides the tools and resources for respectful closure in a world of silence. And you'd be tricked into thinking that this project doesn't have a video. It actually has like 2 of them, but they're just embedded as YouTube links in the description, and that's fine. They want $20,000, so let's see what they're offering. Also, I don't know how long this video is gonna end up being, but I want to be pretty thorough with this project, because you don't often see projects quite like this that hit so many beautiful, terrible project points, and I want to point all of them out, because this is also some stuff in here that, like, extends way beyond just Kickstarter, and I want to point all of it out. The concept is basically, hey, ghosting sucks, getting ghosted sucks, so what if instead you had an app and then an AI will generate a message for you to end the relationship. That is the basic concept as we go into what they're trying to sell us here.
Have you ever been ghosted?
Yes, I have actually.
Yeah, a few times.
Sadly, yeah, I have.
How did it feel?
It was a very depressing part of my life because of that. They were someone I loved.
I got really emotional and it was pretty sad.
Have you ever ghosted someone yourself?
Yeah, a couple times.
It made me feel bad, but I ghosted the girl before I got ghosted. So then I realized that I shouldn't have done that, because I realized how it made me feel, and then I realized how it would make her feel.
So the premise of this is, the person out that did this project, that did their due diligence, they went out into the street, they interviewed people, they're like, hey, is ghosting a problem? Hey, have you been ghosted, teenager? And hey, have you ghosted someone also, teenager? And did either of those things make you feel good? Wow, a huge surprise that didn't feel amazing, didn't feel great to just have a relationship end like that. And then, of course, they add the question of, hey, what if there was an app? What if there was an app you could use that made ghosting never happen?
If there was an app that you could use that helped you in, say, crafting a message to end a relationship the right way, would you use it rather than ghosting?
Yes, especially at my age, a lot of people have a hard time at actually communicating and like how to end those relationships in a healthy way. They definitely take advantage of it, and it'd probably be a really good resource.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
What about
I'd use
you?
it probably.
You'd
I'd
use it?
And this is the first thing I want to point out is something that extends way beyond just Kickstarter, certainly way beyond this project alone. This is... I feel like in the case of this lady that's doing this thing, it's kind of unintentional scumminess, but it is still kind of scummy. You basically going up to people and being like, hey, has anyone ever done this thing to you that made you feel horrible? Then following up with, hey, have you done this to anyone else, probably making them feel horrible? And then finally, hit him with a question of, what if I made you an app that you can use that makes this horrible experience not happen? And then your options to answer, especially if you're like an impressionable teenager for this, video that they're doing, I mean, it's not that big of a deal because they're probably not even going to use this anyway. But the options are basically like, yeah, probably, maybe I will use something like that. Yeah, I can see myself using that. Or saying, no, I actually like this horrible experience that I've felt myself and made others feel. Oh, I mean, maybe I'm just an asshole, maybe I'm just a freak, because I do know that I'm fairly very, like, tight-knit with my social circles, so, like, I only have a couple of people I care about in the first place, and, if someone, like, drifts away, I'm like, sure, whatever. I've had the experiences of, oh, I'm talking to this person, and then without, any specific kind of goodbye, or, oh, I guess we're not gonna talk anymore, or whatever, just, like, it fizzles out, and it goes nowhere after that. And I mean, that's standard if you use Tinder, honestly. But I've never had one of two experiences, which I feel like are necessary for what I would qualify as, like, proper ghosting, which is either they message you again, hey, you have a conversation that sort of ends or peters out, whatever, and then they message you again, like, hey, what's up, or hey, do you still want to talk, and then you ignore that. Or the other way around, you message them, like you double dip, and they still ignore you. That has genuinely, I don't think, ever happened to me. Maybe the second option, maybe? But again, on like Tinder and like who cares? But most of the time, it's just a matter of talking, and then just not talking, and I would not exactly describe that as a traumatic experience. I would not describe that as an experience that's haunted me ever since that I've felt particularly bad about afterwards. Again, I feel like for most people, it's either a matter of, this bothers me, I want to be a good person, I don't want to ghost people, so I'm going to message them, or, oh, I don't care because I'm kind of a jerk, so I'm just going to ghost people all left, right, and center, and it's not going to matter to me, so I would say bye, but like that's like a part of it is you don't say it. And like the biggest culprits here would be that second group, and the least likely group to use your product, your stupid app, is also that second group. But my critique here doesn't stop, because let's just keep looking through here. One day you're talking, the next nothing, just silence. The person left behind is hurt, confused, and stuck wondering what went wrong. And the one doing the ghosting, they carry the guilt and the unfinished business that never really goes away. I feel like if that's the case, you need to go to therapy, because not texting someone anymore should not be reason to carry guilt and unfinished business that never really goes away. And also, there's no, like, time limit on it. You can just message someone a while later and be like, hey, sorry that I ghosted you, but, like, bye. You know, like, you can just do that. You're perfectly allowed to do that. And, don't need AI for it. In fact, if you do need an AI for it, you don't need a separate app for it. You can just go to ChatGPT and be like, hey, could you write up a goodbye message to this person? And then it'll spit something out, and wow, you've done it. And so, I mean, I'm not gonna read the entire thing, but the premise is, you have this app, Exit, and you have these AI tools, you have, of course, because this is the standard practice, some reason, for every app, every social media, every dating app, all kinds of app that I've seen on Kickstarter in the past couple of whiles, Am I fucking gay? The past couple of years, they have integrated therapists, integrated like therapy support in the app to cope with the getting broken up with or getting ghosted or whatever. And that's all fine, sure. But there's a lot of problems with their system here, because the idea is, and as I describe it, you go onto this app, you use this app to create this templated goodbye message completed with AI, and you send it to this other person through the app. At no point does this project ever mention or imply that you take that generated message and send it elsewhere. You use it through the app. Walter, what's the problem? Of course they want you to use the app. Yeah, they want you to use the app, and they also want you want the person you're breaking up with to use the app. The app that they're not going to have on their phone because they're not breaking up with someone, you are. So you want them to install the app so you can message them once, breaking up with them, and block them on the app. That is the system. Genuinely. You can go look yourself, you can read the paragraphs I'm putting on screen. That is how this app is supposed to work. So instead of saying like, hey, sorry, this isn't really going anywhere, goodbye, good luck, whatever, instead of just writing that in a text message, the most basic plain-ass message you possibly can, instead what they want you to do is you send them like an App Store link, like a Google Play link, whatever, to be like, hey, could you download this breakup app? And then they download the breakup app, and you message them on that breakup app. You send them this AI-generated slop, and then you block them. That is the concept. Except, the way it works is, of course, it blocks them on exit. They can no longer message you on the app designed for breaking up with people. Which leads me to the scenario where you go through all that rigmarole, and then they just message you again through whatever app you used to send them the link to download the stupid breakup app, and they just go, what the hell was that? You know, if you've ever talked to someone and shared the experience of being ghosted, you're like, aw man, that sucks, they ghosted me, I wish they would have just said something and explained what was wrong. If being broken up with is like up here, like it sucks, but it's like, this is the bottom, pretty much, you know, it sucks, you're emotionally, like, it sucks. And this is like breaking up through text, which sucks a bit more. For most people, I don't care either way. Then this down here, right? Like right where the bottom of the recording is, that's getting ghosted, right? Because you got no closure, you don't know what's going on. Getting broken up with by having someone not actually tell you how they feel, but link you an app that you download, that they then use ChatGPT on to send you a message, and then pretend that they've blocked you everywhere and you can't contact them anymore. That's down in the 7 circles of hell. Surely. I mean, you only get some elevation out of it when, you know, your friends are telling you about their horrible breakup stories, like, oh, he broke up with me over text, oh, he like messaged me on Instagram. You will win, because neither of those people were broken up with an AI. Oh, and of course, I mean, this is not going to be a surprise. The text in this project is AI generated. For those of you who have been around here for a while, you know how I know it's AI generated, but for those that aren't in the know, the simple way to tell that a project that is somewhat lengthy like this, for the way you can figure this out is you Control F and look up the word just. I used to look up not just, but that actually skipped a lot because it's a combination of not just, isn't just, wasn't just, don't just, whatever. The AI, in this unjust world, the AI loves some justing. At the end of the day, it's just about respect, M- for them and for you. Then right up here we got, Exit is more than just a messaging app. It's a tool for emotional intelligence, a way to make respect the norm in a world of silence. Absolute ChatGPT bullcrap right there. And then literally a paragraph later, it's, Exit isn't just about what you say, M-. It's about how you move on. And finally, they describe the lady, and it says, she's not just the CEO, semicolon, she's the creative force behind our mission to change how we all say goodbye. No, the hell she is not. And if she truly believes that, she's unbelievably conceited. But to be fair, this is another pitfall that a lot of these social media projects have, which is this bizarre assumption that your Kickstarter project for an app that requires $20,000 apparently, and it's not going to get even that, no shot, that this project and this app is somehow going to have a meaningful enough user base to function. Because sure, that scenario I described about having people send their links to download this app later on, that's not going to be a problem if everyone is using this goddamn piece of garbage, but they're not going to be doing that, you know? I think an idea that's a million times better would be to just have this as a function that's integrated into a dating app like Tinder or Bumble or whatever, where you just when you unmatch with someone, you also send them a little message of like, hey, sorry, not interested, blah, blah, blah. And then you're gone. But at the same time, it's like Tinder, and if you care that deeply about getting unmatched on Tinder, don't use Tinder. By the way, the fact that this project's like text seems to be AI generated, I'm a little torn, because on the one side, I'm usually like, that's lazy, actually write out your text and so on, but to be fair, this is a project that's basically saying like, hey, you can use AI to have these heartfelt, meaningful departures, goodbyes, to say farewell. So they show that they believe in their project's concept enough, since they're also using those same AI language models to generate the text for it. However, the use of that AI here also kind of gives you an idea of how terrible it's going to be broken up with a templated AI message. You know, imagine you read the message that says something like, no two goodbyes are the same, and you're sort of left conflicted, because on the one side you're getting broken up with, and on the other side you're thinking, that's not true. Most goodbyes are the same, because most of the time you just say goodbye. What the hell? And lastly, of course, because this is a project that not only has been generated with an AI quite like throughout the entire thing, but also constantly talks about using AI tools in the app, in the project's, final product, naturally, it doesn't have a use of AI section. We've seen gaming projects where the developer has no idea what the hell the use of AI section is, and they just talk about how they'll be using AI pathfinding. But this project, no use of AI section whatsoever. We're all going to burn in hell. That's gonna do it for today's video. Leave a comment and a like and a subscription if you enjoyed it. I know it's been a bit slow on this series in particular lately. Truth be told, I had to use some of my equipment to record an interview that was hired to do, and I've been doing that, and then trying to do some work stuff and getting a new job. So I've just been a bit lazy to set up my camera stand again. That's genuinely the reason why the previous upload was just no camera, me just recording Sporkle, was because I looked at a bag where my camera stand was, in there, and I was like, that's gonna take, 5.5 minutes to set up and screw the camera back on. I'm not doing that this week. Maybe I am an asshole, actually. Other parties will rise to embody new ideas or approaches in existing political movements, often at the hands of established politicians, such as Zatler's Reform Party or For Latvia's Development at the initiative of Ainars Repše. In fact, one of the most common ways for a party to be formed is through the ambitions of a single individual. KPLV with Artus Kaimiņš or LPV under Ainars Šlesers